Back after a long hiatus, now it's time to see the Doctor and Donna back again. What does it all mean? We're going to get into it right now. What's up, my know-it-alls? Fellow Whovians, it is your doctor, of course, Doctor of Know-How, Mr. Know-It-All, and my companion for life, Mrs. Know-It-All. I am so excited to talk about this new episode that just dropped. It has been about a year and a half or so that we have been really, really excited about it. We started doing some season one recap reviews and whatnot, and I'll link to those in the bottom in the description. But ultimately, we've just been really excited about watching this. Fresh out of the theater, if you will, what is your first blush?
Oh, it was great.
Right?
It was. I mean, maybe I was just too excited. I don't know. I was maybe too excited, but I enjoyed finally sitting down and watching Doctor Who again.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
And that's my doctor, so...
Totally. David Tennant returns. This time, however, he is the 14th Doctor. Hot on the heels of Jodie Whittaker. She regenerated into him at the end of her specials last year, the year before. And so we've been sort of waiting for this this new ultimate run of his last hurrah in these next three specials that are coming. And it's exciting. Not only do we get a new old Doctor, we get a new old companion, but we also get a new companion in Donna's daughter, played by Yasmine Finney, the part of Rose Noble, which I was so excited for.
That was really cool.
That was super cool. I loved it. Of course, seeing the character of Sylvia, played by Jacqueline King. And we really got to see Donna's husband finally.
Yes.
We didn't get to see much of him at the end of his run.
Mm-mm. We literally just caught a glimpse of him. When he handed the lottery ticket over.
I was pleasantly surprised, and we jump right in. So normally in a lot of these specials, you get that roundup time that says, "Hey, I just transformed. I'm doing this. What's going on?" They get their new screwdriver. They get their new TARDIS, and this one, David Tennant steps out, and he's the Doctor.
What I find interesting is we saw him with all the questions on his face at the end of the last...
the regeneration. Right.
So he already freaked out once, so we don't need to see it again. And I really like the way they brought us into this episode.
Agreed.
With the Doctor talking and then Donna talking.
A Time Lord and a human. We travel the stars together.
Sometimes I have dreams about impossible things.
That was such an interesting...
a neat way to bring us right back to the story of them.
It kind of reminded me of, do you remember back in Matt Smith's era when they did briefly during his second season of his run, they did those openings with Amelia Pond one time. I was a little girl. I was visiting, and it was a storybook intro.
When I was a little girl, I had an imaginary friend. And when I grew up, he came back. He's called the Doctor.
I thought it was really cool that they kind of did something similar with this. Mm-hmm. And it was, I agree. It's a little fourth wall breaking, but I felt like it was the fastest, most efficient way to get us into the story.
Gave us more story.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. And then we get the new intro. Man.
I was taken back. I kind of liked it. I was like, okay, all right.
It's funny, one of her friends on Facebook was like, well, clearly they spent that Disney money.
Yeah.
And all I know is they've all had a look. And by that, there's nothing bad about it.
No.
This felt grand in scale.
Yeah. Every Doctor that I've watched has their own opening.
Yeah.
And this was, I felt like it was big, like you said, grand. It was much bigger, much more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I really appreciated about it was not only do you get this really cool, the TARDIS going through what is more or less the space-time vortex, that flaming vortex you saw, but it also, you get to see what looks like kind of almost like not the multiverse, but that's the nearest comparison grand scale wise, in that you get to see these constellations that look like Gallifreyan text.
There you go.
They were round, they were circles, and you're like, what is this like a weird way station he's going through? For real, I thought it was very, very cool. And so kind of seeing that look and that intro and the letters coming out and it was very cinematic to say the least. So, or as her friend so tactfully put it, that Disney money. So yeah, man. Then you get into the story of it all, and literally he shows up back in London, and he's, according to him, he's not far away from Donna. Like, he shows up smack in the middle to this woman who's having trouble carrying boxes. He picks a box up, and it's her. So much so that he very quickly and tactfully puts it right back.
It's like, oi!
I love her so much. I swear, I think in a lot of ways she reminds me of you.
Aww.
Oh, absolutely. Because you're very, no. You, when it comes to, you do exactly that. You speak your mind. You're very brash at times when you have to be. And you're like, oh, yeah, anyway, it was amazing. And then you find out an interesting fact. She gave away all of the money they'd won. The Doctor, of course, if you remember, at the end of when they got married, at the end of his run, he gave them a wedding gift rather, and it was a winning lottery ticket.
A lottery ticket? What a cheap present. Who was that? Still, you never know. It's a triple rollover this week. I might get lucky.
Worth 166 million pounds,
Pounds.
which is, I mean,
Very
you
close
do
to what,
the
yeah.
dollar exchange roughly, probably close to about 180 million American, and maybe a little bit more. And so she gave it all away, and I found
She never knew why. She just knew she had to.
and I immediately was like, oh, she's trying to help everybody out. And sure enough, she does later on confirm that she just felt like, and she even says in this moment when she not slips, but I feel like she's
Everything
starting to
comes
come
back.
through. She says, I did what I thought you would do. And I was like, right on, man. Good for you. And it was again, very awesome. Then you get the Doctor, a spaceship crashes not far away, because it's literally when it rains, it pours. The Doctor shows up, Donna's right there, spaceship crashes right in front of her. And it's like...
Donna sees nothing.
No, it was so... You always hear about it, and you always think, how could she possibly be that silly? Well, luckily, RTD gave us the act. He showed it to us today.
I don't think that's a plane. It's a spaceship in trouble.
Mum, look, it's a spaceship.
Yes, there's a spaceship crashing over London right now. You are worse than your great-granddad.
There you go. Perfectly snapped. Mum, how do you always manage to miss everything?
She gets up when it's all done. And she's like, what are we talking about now? What?
I
And you're
always
like,
miss this stuff.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, Donna, I love you. So then what happens is the Doctor gets into the cab. He gets driven away. She goes home. There's this one moment where Donna is walking, her and her daughter are walking home. And you get this is the very, and it's funny, I kind of caught a peep of a little bit of what was going on in the very beginning. And she gets catcalled by some kids the name Jason. She gets dead named. She's a trans woman. First off, I wouldn't have known anything had you said anything to me. So, and I love the fact that they really called it out so that anybody who's uneducated is not going to sit here and make some crass statements, because people online who'll make horrible statements like, oh, this and that, or the way people look and this. And I'm like, look, man, that's a beautiful young woman. And sure enough, these kids are like this and that. And Donna gets pissed. She's such a mama bear in that moment.
She is.
Yeah, it was great. And then I really loved, because we've had to deal with stuff like that. And my father-in-law, Grandpa Know-It-All, in his 70s, has had to kind of get used to it. So you get that kind of moment, which I felt was so honest and true when Donna's mom is like, am I saying the right thing? Am I saying she's gorgeous? Is that okay? I didn't say stuff like that when he was, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, you know what? I love the fact that they address and talk about, just in general, life's changing, culture's changing, people finding their footing in things. And I genuinely, I liked it. I liked it. There are people online who are already gonna, and I haven't even looked yet, but I guarantee you people are gonna be like, oh, it's woke, it's this and that. No, it's no different than the year we live in. Doctor Who's very first year, guess what? Polly was the assistant who came along with them as the doctors and stuff because women had to be looked after. And then years later, Rose was all tough and what and tumble.
Had to look after him.
A product of their culture. This is the show, in my opinion, evolving with the times that the Doctor is existing in.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And I totally
perfect.
love that. I'm like, you know what? Continue the show going forward and continue the evolution of these characters and the universe they live in. Things don't have to stay so static, especially when you're dealing with space and time. So then you have this really interesting moment where the young boy says, This comes over around the neighborhood and is like, hey, they found this little piece broke off. And it's a pod.
It's an escape pod. It's a little tiny ball.
Yeah,
well,
man.
Not tiny, but small.
Right. And sure enough, what happens? They find out that this thing escaped, and who finds it? Of course, it's going to be Rose. Okay, right in the back alley, she finds it right there behind the trash. It's this adorable creature.
The Meep is so cute.
It's the Meep.
It's so cute.
And
Baby Know-It-All comes running in at one point when she was out, and she's like, "What? Oh, that's so cute." And then she sat and watched the rest of it.
Well, and you see it in this really cool ET type setup where it's hiding in the stuffed animals, because if you notice, that's what Rose does. She has an Etsy or eBay or whatever online, and she makes all these little plush looking toy monster creature things. By the way, apparently she has a buyer in Dubai that buys all her stuff. Why do I feel like, I want this to go on the record, I feel like that little tidbit is absolutely going to come back to bite us in the ass. Yeah. I have a feeling that we're going to find out.
I don't know if it's going to bite us. I think it's, I
don't know, man. If that doesn't lead us somehow into either the toy maker or something.
I was just like, okay, fine.
Right?
Okay, this is the toy maker we're going to be in.
Come on.
So that makes sense to me.
No, I'm excited. So then.
I just didn't want to believe you.
So then Donna shows up, and immediately, at first she's like, oh, it's so cute, this and that. And she touches the Meep's eye and is like,
What? What? Did it just... What the hell?
And she's freaking out in classic
Donna style.
Yeah, she was awesome. I loved it. And then she's backing up, she's shouting, and the doctor had just showed up with Unit. By the way, let's back up for just a second. The doctor went to the crash site. Turns out this spaceship didn't crash at all. It basically did an about face. He meets a brand new science person who works with Unit number 56. I love it. And this young lady in a wheelchair, and the wheelchair is going to be important later. That's why I'm calling it out. And it's really great because the doctor's kind of just sitting there chilling with his new hologram generating. By the way, I'm a huge fan of when they add new abilities to the sonic screwdriver.
This time around is amazing.
It's the best. And sure enough, he's sitting here and he makes this hologram wall, this like a screen.
Sketchpad.
No, for real. And there's all this stuff on it, and he's literally just like, what's going on? And he's doing all this little moving things around and whatnot. Anyways, it's very cool. I thought it was awesome because I'm like, if that's what we're doing now with this, I'm all about it. Super cool. So then she rolls up on him, literally, and has a little introduction. And she obviously has pictures and seen him, and they talk. And he does something that I never expected. He gives up all the goods, and he's like, "I'm worried because I have a new face." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" He describes the people that have come after his last regeneration, meaning the David Tennant version of 10.
But that's your future. You can't know that. It's forbidden.
I regenerated, and she became me.
You got your old face back.
Yep.
I love the fact they haven't just ho-hummed that or hand-waved it away. It's a thing. And I believe it's going to be a through line in a lot of this.
Did he say fate or destiny?
He said if destiny exists, it's coming
Which
after
he doesn't
Donna
believe.
Noble. Right.
But
if it exists, it's coming after Donna Noble.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very telling. It's funny. You stop and think about it. RTD's had quite a few years to think through how he would ever have done this. And he just in the Radio Times finished recently telling an article where literally the headline of it was, or the pull quote for him was, I knew I had more stories to tell, and that was all it took. He finally had more stories to tell of the Doctor, and he was like, let's go. And I'm excited for that, man. Because remember, he's not just doing the 60th anniversaries.
No, he's on for the
He's into
season.
Chuti's new seasons as the 15th. And I'm like, let's go. So Unit's doing their thing. The Doctor runs off to do his thing. They get to Donna's house. He hears Donna freaking out about the thing, rushes over to the house. Of course, there's this whole thing with Donna's mom. And like,
oh my gosh, Donna's mom. She had this amazing look on her face when the Doctor was knocking at the door. She turns around like this, like, ew. And she's like, you expected her eyes to glow and like
totally
flames to shoot out of her ears or something. But man, she was mad. And then when
for real. No, for real. So then finally, she does finally open the door, and they have the Meep in there, and everyone's freaking out. Donna's husband shows up, and he's like,
hey, Dad's home. It smells nice.
I love him. I love his simplicity.
I want to see
so
more
much.
of him.
I love this guy. I hope at some point or another he gets to either accidentally do something with them or something, because he's so awesome. I absolutely think he's great. Then, and the Doctor has a second. He talks to the Meep. They have this quick moment where they find out the Meep's personal pronouns are the first person, the Meep, and he's like, "Oh, it's great, just like me. I'm the Doctor, so we're good." And I was like, "Okay, all right, that works, man." And then you have this really amazing realization, because they ask, yes, what's going on? The Meep's like, well, they outlawed Meep fur, and so the people who hunted us have destroyed our homeworld, and I'm running. He's like, oh, it's too bad. You're an actual fashion tragedy or something stupid, really cheesy like that. Yeah. And then people start busting in the doors.
Surrender the Meep.
Unit guys who have been possessed by
blue glowy things. In
later on they call it solar psychedelia or
psychedelic
something
solar
or other.
Something.
Yeah, there's like this weird psychedelic sun that makes you all evil and stuff. And so they're looking for the Meep, but then there are also these Federation soldiers from Rick and Morty.
I swear, that's what they look like. It's the first thing I thought of when I saw them.
In live action.
And then they flew.
And I'm just like, these are those guys. This is literally, he must watch Rick and Morty, because these are them. They were awesome. And of course, in wonderful BBC style, they were walking around on stilts, and it was very practical. Those characters I thought was awesome. And you can always tell there's a ton of really practical, really great effects going on here.
And Doctor Who's always done that anyway.
Absolutely. Always known for the rubber suits and stuff and the paper mache monsters.
I don't think I could ever have it any other way.
No, not at all. And so then then the Doctor's starting to figure some things out. He finally gets to a parking garage, tells everybody to get out, and he teleports those guys back by intercepting their teleport conveniently, because plot's gonna plot. And sure enough,
Doctor.
No, totally. And he pulls out very like the Fourth Doctor. He pulls out a wig and holds court right there in the middle of the place.
I'm invoking Shadow Proclamation Protocols 15P and 6. There will be no violence until such time as I deem it fit and proper. Is that understood?
And he susses out pretty quickly, these guys are not trying to kill anyone. They're using stun guns. I actually inadvertently called it, because I was like, okay, come on, guys, how cheap are those special effects? They're hitting the car and nothing. Mm-hmm. And then the Doctor's like, Donna, verify for me if there's any scorch marks. By the way, back up 2 seconds. When all the gunfire's happening, the Doctor uses his really cool new trick to create these force shields out of midair. And as he's doing it, he hands the sonic screwdriver over to Donna out of habit with a quickness, and she just takes it no problem.
That my best friend, she a real bad.
And I'm like, oh my God, she's gotta be ready. I don't. She's gotta be ready to. I need one. I need a sonic screwdriver.
What happened to the one we had? Never mind.
I have a laser screwdriver, but that's from back in the day. That's the Master's old one. I'm not gonna use that. I'm not gonna put that on this. I'm not gonna dignify that on this set.
Yes, dear.
But anyway, so then and then he's pushing those things around. Anyway, so we go moving forward again, and when they're in the court area, so to speak, you find out the Meep is evil.
And he gets, what's so funny is like he tries to look evil because he's got sharp teeth, but he really feels kind of cute.
It looks like an evil gremlin or mogwai.
Do you remember those pets that they had where they would press a button and they would get evil?
God, no, I don't.
Oh my gosh, yes. Insert it here.
That's horrific. Oh my God.
I know.
Jeez.
But that's what he reminds me of. He's really cute.
Totally. Yeah, man. So then the Meep immediately kills those two little grasshopper soldier guys from the Federation, because that's what they are as far as I'm concerned. And then the other soldiers show up. They take them back. The Doctor manages to convince them to take them back with him.
Yeah.
So they go back to the place, and he immediately
is strutting.
Oh my gosh, sorry. I love him so much.
He just owns, he walks around Earth like he owns it. Like he just struts, matter of fact about it. And
or as Matt Smith once said,
but I've put a lot of work into it.
It's true.
You know?
Yes.
No, for real. They're all trying to get out. Donna helps her family out an escape area and then shuts the door behind them. And she's like, I gotta help him. She doesn't know why.
But she knows she has to.
She knows she has to. And it's right after someone, the young lady in the wheelchair, who shoots the guards that have the Doctor with darts out of her wheelchair.
Okay, so let's talk real quick about
totally. Go ahead.
Okay. As someone that has to use a wheelchair sometimes, a walker and a cane, I love how she just was. And I don't think actors and actresses that are using mobility aids, like I do wheelchairs and stuff like that, I don't think they give much credit to themselves, and I don't think we give enough credit. Those are just their legs.
Yeah.
If I want to just be brutally honest, it's at one point, and I don't know if it's just the BBC the way it handles it differently or the way we handle it differently, is right in the line she says, "Don't make me the problem. You get up there and stop it," because it was nothing but a bunch of stairs.
Sorry about the stairs, but Geneva says to go in immediately.
Don't make me the problem. Just get in there.
Yep.
And they stopped like automatically, and they
she
said,
rolled right with it.
Just
No
went
pun
right
intended.
with it, just like go salve it, and there wasn't feelings of hurt or anything like that. She just knew.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of comfort in that myself, just
Yeah, I thought it was
knowing that
very
there are
cool.
things I can't do anymore. They're just not.
No.
And
But she was the boss.
But she was the boss, and she knew it needed to get done. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to give them a little.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
No, it's very awesome. And so then finally, so Donna and him are trying to help stop the ship because apparently the ship it's like a knife dagger or something. It's got a dagger drive, a double dagger drive.
A dagger drive gets its energy by stabbing down. It would extract 5 square miles, the whole of London town, burnt as fuel.
But that's 9 million people.
So legitimately, they've got to hurry up. So Donna's not going to let her family die. She's like, I got to help the doctor. Who knows what she can do? She knows what she can do. I think she's starting to remember.
Well, she's dropped the doctor's name.
Yeah.
She dropped like I tried to be like you.
Yep.
It's slowly coming back.
Right.
even though her mother's walking around, none of this is real. This is all fake.
That's awesome.
She's trying so hard.
So the doctor's in this little engineered area, and he's trying to do some stuff, and he accidentally triggers a thing, and she's there, and they get stuck on 2 different sides of the doorway, and then he proceeds to explain to her. She's like, "What's going on? This and that." He's like, "I can save. There's only with one thing left I can do, and you and I can both save everyone, save everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna die," and it's a pretty heavy moment.
Okay.
You'll die.
My daughter is down there. And it's not just Rose. It's 9 million people who cares about me.
And he proceeds to start almost like Bucky in The Winter Soldier. He starts saying words, a series of trigger words, and about halfway through, she picks up on the trigger words, and she immediately gets her memory back, and she gets pissed because that's what Donna would do.
I gave 100. That's the first thing she says. I gave 160.
She's like,
pounds.
all because I had this memory loop thing in me that's trying to make me all soft inside like you. And she's so pissed. It's great. And so what happens is she, to prove a point, is like, oh, you want to see anger? You want to see explosions? And she starts turning things off. He starts helping. And sure enough, they stop the ship from doing what the ship's going to do. And then it looks as if they lift the thing up, and it looks like she's going to die. The door opens. I know, dude. They have a wonderful moment. David Tennant and Catherine Tate haven't missed a beat. They absolutely felt amazingly like those characters. This entire thing felt like a love letter to the past, but in a good way. But also a moving forward into the future in a way, which I know we have 2 more of these specials to go.
I can't believe it.
But I feel like they did a great job buttoning it up, making it feel like it worked. I didn't have any issues. You're going to find people out there who are like, that's mighty convenient. And I'm like, dude, storytelling is convenient, okay? The man regenerates just so you can explain how another actor takes over. Don't give me convenient. Get off, seriously. So then she, as she's about to die, these guys come in, and then magically the little colored light thing gets sucked out of them, and you see hands flipping switches. It's Rose.
Talking all doctor-like.
Pause. What did I say to you when about midway through, what did I say? I said to you, what if Rose has something to do, because wouldn't Donna have passed something on to him?
And I'm like, oh my gosh, because I remember what I was doing at the time.
Yeah, dude.
I said, you're right. You're absolutely right. Why wouldn't that makes perfect sense? Makes perfect sense.
So when all of a sudden Rose comes on and is like, Doctor, you guys, come on out, you're good. And you find out she had it also. Mm-hmm. Donna had passed, which is why Donna didn't die. She split the metacrisis stuff with her daughter when she gave birth. And sure enough, they stop everything. They manage to catch the Meep. And then the Meep gets all kinds of cryptic.
A creature with 2 hearts is such a rare thing. Just wait till I tell the boss.
Cryptic? I hate that.
Right? What kind of crap is threatening to tell the boss?
It looks mean, but it's still kind of cute.
Whatever, man. All I know is, David, I love David Tennant's like, well, look at that. It's all kinds of awfully cryptic. I hate that. And I was like, right on. But so Donna and Rose then get this great revelation that they apparently can just let it go, and they do. They just release their energy into the Time Lord energy and stuff into the universe, and that's it. And so now there's this whole moment where they go back to the TARDIS, and Donna's like, "Oh, this is great, this and that." He manages to say, "Hey, let's go see Wilf. Let's go see your granddad. I'll just get to see him. He'll get a kick out of it." And they're like, "Okay." And her mother's like, "No, that's it. One trip, and that's it." And I'm like, the minute she goes in. But we get to get our first look.
Oh, it's amazing.
In the doors. Where we get to see this brand new TARDIS. You see the Dr. David Tennant Doctor runs around the thing like a child exuberant.
Stairs.
It's huge. This is it's very big
on the inside. I mean, it's bigger than it's bigger on the inside.
No,
it's big. It's huge.
It absolutely is. And it also has the round things, which I thought was cool. It brought those back.
Hey, look, the round things.
I love the round things.
What are the round things? No idea.
And they're color coded. You can totally change them, which I was like, sweet. Kind of like my light setup here. What?
Now, prior to this, they begged to go on this adventure. And so she asks her husband. Donna asks her husband. This is how I think we're going to get the switch at the third.
I love this.
When we have the regeneration.
A lot of husbands would worry. Me, in a box, with another man.
Yeah, but not him.
So Donna Noble's husband is of black descent.
Oh, totally.
And so I think that he's gonna want Donna to come with once the regeneration happens, and Donna's husband's gonna say no.
I'm gonna predict how the scene's gonna go down.
Yes, please do that.
I feel like Chuti's going to want to invite Donna because I think Donna's going to make it all the way through. I think Rose and Donna are both going to make it. I think Chuti's new doctor is going to be like, let's go. Because I don't believe he's going to get his new companion until the first episode of his actual season proper. So I believe that he's going to invite her, and her husband's going to be like, no. Not with him. And I'm like, I cannot, but I have this feeling that's going to happen. And if it does, I called it right here, now. She called it.
Thank you.
She called it's going to happen. I just painted the scene for you. But she's right. She did say it was going to happen.
I'm like, that's how she's going to.
But I think they're going to be the symmetry because they really took a moment to hang on that scene. Mm-hmm. So all right, now. So there you go. Now you know. If no accept the battle, halfway to being a know-it-all, yourself. What's an all index for this episode for you?
8.5.
Right on, man. I gave it a 9. I really thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought the episode had a lot of good parts, and I'm excited. I'm going to be hard person not to give it a 10 out of 10 every episode because this felt like a warm hug. It felt like the era that we left. It felt like we never missed a beat.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like David Tennant jumped right back into being the Doctor.
Oh my gosh!
Skipping a beat.
I did love the references when he shows the paper, the telepathic paper, and he's like, it says mistress of this and that. He goes, oh, catch up. I was like, that's awesome. Anyways, comment below. Tell me what you thought of this brand new era that has begun. I know that the new Chidi Getwa season is supposed to be called series number 1 because it's literally heralding in a whole new era of Doctor Who, and I'm here for it. And I think you guys will be too. So wherever you're watching it, let me know. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Predict, man. Let's hear how these things are going to go. And I can't wait to see you next week. Any other last thoughts?
No.
Right on, man. All right, everybody. Until next time, never forget.
Everyone loves a know-it-all.
Bye.
Bye.